This car has a 0.9 liter engine. Yes, you heard me right, 0.9 liters with turbo. And later in the video, I'll try to explain the issue of engine capacity, because some people get confused when you say a car has a 2-liter engine, but they are scared to ask what that really means. If you're one of those people, don't worry, because I'm here to make life easy for you. And no, a 2-liter engine capacity doesn't mean your full tank is just 2 liters, Lerato. Some people think the top speed of a car is the last number displayed on the speedometer, but that's not how things work. The speedometer of a Suzuki Baleno goes up to 220 kilometers per hour, but you can't clock 220 kilometers per hour with a Baleno, but that's a topic for another day. Today we're going to be looking at this Renault Clio 4. In one of my previous videos, I mentioned that in 2020 my friend bought a second-hand Clio, and I was the one who facilitated the whole deal. Well, this is the car, and 2 years later it is still running smoothly with no issues at all, but that's partly because my friend drives like an old white lady. This Clio is a 2019 model, and it had a mileage of around 27,000 kilometers when we bought it in 2020, and today it is sitting at around 56,000 kilometers, meaning this Morena only clocked 29,000 kilometers in 2 years. Old white lady vibes. With me, this car was gonna be approaching 150,000 kilometers now, but as a collab. Today we're looking at my friend's Clio ownership journey. Welcome to another video. This is not a regular review, so today we're gonna jump straight to the cost of ownership, and we'll check out the specs a bit later. This car belongs to a friend of mine who's also a doctor, or should I say dentist, and he's been driving this second-hand Clio since he started working, inspired by me. There's a video where I talked about loans and credit score, and I said I have a friend who was denied a SLC contract because of the issue of credit profile. Well, I was talking about the owner of this car. When he started working, he wanted to sign up for a SLC contract, which was going to cost him around 250 rands a month, but they said no because he had a poor credit profile. That's when I realized that the credit profile system is just stupid. You deny a whole doctor a contract nyana ya 250. With half of his salary, can afford to pay for that thing 100 times, but they said no. He was banking with Absa like me, but he had those low-end student accounts, and I suggested that he must upgrade to a premium or a young professionals account, because that's what worked for me. A premium account comes with a credit card which you can use to build your credit score, and the key is to make sure that you pay off your credit card balance in full every month to avoid paying interest, because any rolled over amount will attract interest after 55 days. The other benefit of premium banking with Absa is that you qualify for a good interest rate of prime minus 1% on your first car loan. So he upgraded to premium banking to start building his credit score. During that time, he had no driver's license because he was fresh from varsity. That's what we do in Abodak. We finish matric, go to varsity, and then do a driver's license after graduating, and that's a terrible idea because that's how we end up paying a high insurance premium for our first cars. Speaking about insurance, I dropped a post in the channel community hub asking you guys how much you are paying for insurance. Yo, some of the numbers I saw there, icon. You can't be paying a premium of 2,400 for a Kia Picanto just because you are a new driver and you stay in Soweto. That's just a ripoff. No matter how you can look at it, 2.4 for a Picanto is just a scam. Then another comrade is paying a premium of 1,500 with an excess of 22,000 rands for a Suzuki Baleno. That 22,000 rands excess is just a disaster waiting to happen, but a collab. Kachen, if you are watching this video, I hope you have found a better insurer by now. Then there's a sister who was paying 1,651 rands for a Toyota Agya with an excess of 6,900. I told her to shop around for better offers, and she'll now be paying 1,224 rands with an excess of just 4,500. This is what I love to see. Back to the Clio. My friend got his driver's license in the third quarter of 2020 because of lockdown restrictions and whatnot, and that delay gave him a chance to work on his credit profile a bit. That's why when he bought the car in September, he managed to get an interest rate of prime minus 1%, and the prime rate around that time was 7%, so the interest rate on his car loan was 6%, and that's partly because I made him upgrade to premium banking. Now, how did he end up buying a Clio? Well, I wanted him to buy a Polo Vivo. There's another friend of mine who's a medical doctor. He wanted to buy a white BMW 3 Series G20. That Morena even went to Eastview Mbombela for a quotation, but I sat down with him and he ended up buying a Polo Vivo Trendline like me. The only difference is that my car was a second hand and his was brand new. He joined our young Polo gang. The one thing our cars had in common besides the VW badge is the fact that they were all fully paid. This Clio comrade knew and admitted that a Vivo was a good budget car, but he refused to buy it because Polos are high-risk cars. So his options were Renault Sandero Stepway and Clio. And he specifically wanted a used car in order to save some money. So we checked out Auto Pedigree, Avis Car Sales and Motors Select, which is where we found good deals on the cars he wanted. It was extremely difficult for him to choose between a Sandero and a Clio. Mina lo mzuzang zingeni. And eventually he decided to go with the Clio, which was going for only 179,000 rands. Long story short, his monthly installment is plus minus 2,300 and the car is insured by Old Mutual at a premium of 1,200 and 5,000 rand excess. He claims to be spending 1,200 on fuel per month, so that takes his total monthly cost of ownership to 4,700. Another friend of mine bought this car brand new in 2019 for around 250,000 rands, but he went for the mid-spec expression, not the authentic. He's still driving that car even today. Now let's check out the specs of this Clio for a bit. In front, this car looks as nice as the new models. There's even some cool daytime running lights at the bottom. On the side, no alloy wheels. The Clio Authentic comes with plastic caps, and just like me, my nigga here is not bothered by that. If you have good eyesight, you can tell that the front passenger door was repainted, but that's a story for another day. One thing I recently noticed in as far as the side profile is concerned is the 4-finger gap between the tire and the wheel arch. In the Baleno, that gap is huge, and it kind of makes the car look weird, especially if you put aftermarket rims. The reason why the windows look dark is because of the smash and grab film, which tints and reinforces the glass. Now you all know smash and grab. The one weird thing about this car is that the spare wheel is not in the boot. You have to open the boot and follow a 7,000 steps process to release the wheel, and it will fall under the car. They just complicated life for no reason. The boot space is 300 liters and there's a light, unlike in the Baleno. With the people's car at night, the boot is just dark. At the back, there's ample legroom and the back windows are not electric, just like in the Polo Vivo. But no one buys a car for electric windows. As a passenger here, it's either you wind or you go buy your own car with electric windows. It's that simple. The dashboard layout is kind of underwhelming, but that's what you get when you buy a 179,000 rand second-hand car. At least the height of the driver's seat is adjustable and the car has cruise control. The Toyota Starlet XS costs a whole 240,000 rands and it has no cruise control, but does pummel up. If you are into slow, boring cars, you can just simply press the eco button and enjoy turbo lag. The Clio is very fuel efficient and there was no need for the eco mode in my honest opinion. We once drove this car from Mpumalanga Hazyview to Pretoria and back without having to refill. I did that with my Polo Vivo as well. I drove from Nelspruit to Medunsa and back with one tank and I was still left with some fuel to drive around for a few days. Performance-wise, the Clio has a 0.9 litre turbocharged 3-cylinder engine with a power output of 66 kilowatts and 140 Newton meters of torque. My Vivo Trendline only had 55 kilowatts and 130 Newton meters of torque with no turbo. Yes, the car was a bit slow, but at least it had no turbo lag like the Clio. For those who don't know turbo lag, in simple terms, we can say turbo lag is the delay in power delivery when you step on the gas pedal. The car doesn't respond for like a couple of seconds, then all of a sudden you feel the turbo kicking in. If you are not that crazy about cars, you won't notice the lag, so it's not a deal breaker. I forgot to talk about the audio system. Here's how it sounds. Clio comes with a 5-year 150,000 kilometers warranty and a 3 years 45,000 kilometers service plan. With a Polo Vivo, you have to pay extra for a service plan. A couple of months back, my Polo Vivo friend sent me his service quotation complaining that VW wants him to pay 5,000 rands for his 60,000 kilometer service, whereas he bought a service plan. What he didn't understand is that his service plan was a 3-year 45,000 kilometer service plan, whichever comes first. So he clocked the 45,000 kilometers within 2 years and his service plan expired. The 3 years no longer apply because he has reached the mileage limit. So he had to pay for service out of his pocket. And 5,000 is just a quotation. When you get there, they talk about adding extra work and you'll pay close to 10,000 rands. Back to the Clio. The owner hasn't experienced any issues, but I feel like the mileage is still low because the car is still under 60,000 kilometers. If you own a Clio, please share your experience with us, whether good or bad, so that other people who are considering this car can know what they are signing up for. Other good second-hand cars you can get in the 180,000 rands price range are the previous Toyota Starlet, number 2, VW Polo Vivo. Yes, you heard me right, VW. I have my issues with VW, but that doesn't change the fact that the VW Polo Vivo is a good budget car. Number 3 is the old generation Hyundai i20. Number 4, Suzuki Swift. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe to the channel for more car content in a Mzansi context.